There's an Emblem event coming up in Pokemon TCG Pocket in which we have to rack up 5 consecutive wins. So let's talk about the best decks to do exactly that. And the two most obvious candidates here are Pikachu EX and Mewtwo EX. So let's talk about them real quick and then move on to some other good options. This is the most successful deck list for Pikachu EX, including the Zap Striker, so that's what you definitely should go for if you wanna rack up these 5 consecutive wins as fast as possible and with a lot of consistency. But there is another deck list that we need to mention real quick, even though it should be common knowledge at this point, and this is this Mewtwo EX deck list. This together with the Pikachu EX decks, those are the two best decks in the game, and yeah, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure out that the best decks in the game net you the best chance of racking up 5 consecutive wins in a row with the most consistency possible. So yeah, take a look at these deck lists and definitely go for them, use them if you want to do this effectively. And with Pikachu and Mewtwo EX out of the way, we need to mention this exact deck list right here with Charizard EX, Moltres EX and Arcanine EX, as this is a deck list that is popping off really a lot lately and even wins a lot of tournaments, because this is a deck that includes the biggest counters in the game to Mewtwo EX and to Pikachu EX, which will be the two decks that you will face the most on your way to rack up these 5 consecutive wins. It includes Charizard EX, which is the best counter, quote unquote counter, to Mewtwo EX, and it also includes Arcanine EX, which is by far the biggest counter and best counter to the Pikachu EX. And needless to say that playing a deck that includes the biggest counters to the best decks and most played decks in the game is bound to net you success, such as racking up 5 consecutive wins with the most consistency possible. So definitely give this Charizard Arcanine list a chance. Pikachu EX, Mewtwo EX and Charizard EX as our staples and by far the best 3 decks in the game. Let's go over some honorable mentions, which is this Articuno EX and Starmie EX deck list. That's also pretty common, everyone should be aware that this deck list exists by now. And yeah, this is also a very good, very consistent option to rack up these 5 consecutive wins. There is another list where you can remove the Staryu Starmie and instead play a Greninja line as well. But yeah, that is up to you. I highly suggest and recommend the Starmie EX, as this is just way more consistent than having a stage 2 line in the deck. And another honorable mention is Ninetales Rapidash with a Farfetch'd in there. You don't have to put that Farfetch'd in there if you don't want to, but yeah, this is also a very consistent and very fast paced deck. So not only will you be able to rack up 5 consecutive wins pretty consistently, but also pretty quickly, you know. Even if you lose a match, then you will get going with some wins pretty quickly after you lost one. So this should also work. At least as an honorable mention, it's fair to mention it. Now that we have talked about stuff that we should play, let's talk about stuff that we should not play. That's everything that is in the active and flips coins. Well, pretty much everything, at least. Like Marowak EX is the perfect and prime example here. You don't want to rely on having to win the game with coin flips. Coin flips are the exact opposite of consistency, and consistency is what you want here if you want to rack up consecutive wins. Same goes for Wigglytuff EX. You make your opponent flip coins, and if they flip heads, then Wigglytuff EX is pretty much useless and not worth the investment of a stage 1 with 3 energy that only does 80 damage. That is not enough, that is not worth it, don't play it. And Kangaskhan is also very bad. It is stuck in the active due to having 3 retreat costs, and you flip 2 coins, you can just end up like with Marowak and do absolutely nothing. That is very inconsistent and not what we want. And there we have it, we did it. That was everything that you should play and some things that you shouldn't play. I hope that was informative and fun, but until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and bye bye.